So it's day 65 of the Iran war. As reported, President Trump has received a 14-point plan from the Iranians. In fact, the Iranians claim that actually they've already received a response from the Americans. We don't have the full details of the plan, but we do understand it includes quite a number of elements which will almost certainly not be acceptable to America. The withdrawal of all US forces to the Middle East, reparations, and of course the nuclear negotiations, which might be an effort to try and delay them. None of this looks like an Iranian offer that is ready to capitulate or is desperate to negotiate, as President Trump has claimed. Instead, it feels like they recognise that President Trump needs an off-ramp. They're going to provide one to him, but at a price. And all of this comes amid reports coming in of a bulk carrier close to the Strait of Hormuz being attacked by a swarm of small boats. We understand that there's been no casualties as yet. Meanwhile, across in Lebanon, although a ceasefire has technically been in place since the 16th of April, none of the sides involved were particularly keen on having a ceasefire. This was originally imposed by President Trump. Meanwhile, it appears the Israeli Defense Forces have issued some clearance evacuation warnings to 11 towns and villages around. What their strategy is, has always appeared to be, the Iranians want to build a buffer zone here to protect the north of Israel, because that's where some of the Hezbollah rockets are coming in. Some of the attacks of clearances are in the zone up to Litani River, which is where we expect the Israeli strategy to be. But you'll see quite a number of the attacks are further north. So it may be that the Israelis are looking to take even more ground. But also in reports, there's reports that Prime Minister Netanyahu is reviewing the ceasefire, both with Hezbollah, but also with Hamas. You might remember that in Hamas, there was a ceasefire back in October last year. Part of that deal was that Hamas disarmed as part of that. But inevitably, there's always more to these stories than meets the eye. At the time of the ceasefire, the Israeli forces were actually moving back to this initial IDF line. But over time, that line, they've moved it steadily forward, compressing the population of Gaza and the Hamas. More recently, we understand there's an orange line that now is in place. Part of that orange line, it actually aligns with the yellow line in some place, but creates a new buffer zone, all of which is trying to get Israelis to deconflict aid. But in total, it's a total of 59% now of the Gaza Strip that then the Israeli forces are now trying to control. So actually, if we zoom out again now, the potential for the Israelis to resume operations against Hamas and, of course, the stalemate with the Iran war, all of this makes President Trump's Gaza peace plan and his wider Middle East strategy looking incredibly fragile.